Hey guys, happy Wednesday. We're talking about calories this week, so I don't know if you guys checked out my stories from yesterday. It probably disappeared by now because I think it was over 24 hours ago. If you're not checking out stories, check them out. I'm putting a lot of content over there, and after 24 hours they disappear, and these are things that you will never see on my feed. But anyway, I was talking about calories, and I basically gave a brief overview about how counting calories or the whole calories in, calories out thing that a lot of people in my industry are really obsessed over is not the big picture. That's what I was talking about yesterday, about how if you're just talking about fat loss in the moment, like right now, then counting calories and calories in, calories out could be a big factor. But that's not all it comes down to. That's just the math of fat loss. There's a whole science of fat loss and setting yourself up for future success with fat loss as well. Your metabolism, your hormones, all of that. I'm not going to get into all that. That was yesterday's content. But just a quick recap, because I want to talk to you today about why counting calories is futile at best. It messes with our head, and it's not even accurate. So let me get into that right now. At the end, I'm going to tell you, do I ever have anybody count calories? I'm going to tell you about that. And we can talk about a better way afterwards. Okay, so 5 reasons. Number 1, counting calories. So we're just talking about calories in at this point. We're not talking about calorie expenditure, which is a whole other thing that we can get into another time. But I'm talking about how imprecise calories in is, okay? It's not precise. So the FDA can actually use one of 5 different methods to calculate, hi Joni, good morning, to calculate how many calories are in a food. So let's talk about foods that don't come with nutrition labels, like an apple. An apple, one medium-sized apple, you might Google it, and it might say it's 93 calories for a medium-sized apple. That apple can actually have 83 calories. That apple can actually have 116 calories. It can be off based on the way that they have measured this food. And each individual food obviously is like a different size. What is a medium apple, right? One medium apple might be slightly larger than another medium apple. So of course that can be off as well. But because they use these 5 different methods, the food is actually allowed to be off by up to 20 to 25% in either direction. That's a lot. That's a lot when you're talking, especially when you're trying to go through fat loss and do it the right way, where you're not starving yourself, but you're just cutting back a little bit at a time. And when you're going into it with that mentality, you're just trying to shave off, let's say, a few hundred calories a day. Well, just the errors in the labels alone and the FDA prediction of what is in your food alone can completely squander that calorie deficit that you were trying to get into anyway. So it's very imprecise. So that's number 1. Excuse me. Number 2, absorption varies, okay? So based on the food, it is absorbed differently in your body. So for an example, it's out there that 1 gram of protein has 4 calories. So every gram of protein comes along with 4 calories. However, it's really more like 5.65 calories in 1 gram of protein, but 4 calories are what's absorbed, and 1.65 calories kind of passes through us without being absorbed. What? You don't need to remember all these numbers. The big picture here that I need you to understand is that absorption varies too. We don't absorb all of the calories that we eat. We don't absorb it all. And that varies from food to food as well. It's been shown pretty recently that nuts, for example, we don't absorb as many calories from nuts, like the whole nut, as we would from some other food. For example, if you were to eat peanuts and an equivalent amount of peanut butter, you would absorb more of the calories from the peanut butter than you would from the actual peanuts. You guys, it changes from food to food, and it changes from macronutrient to macronutrient too. So that's the second reason why calorie counting is not cool. The third reason, preparation. So the way that we prepare our food actually changes the amount of calories that we get from the food. A raw egg has, I've got my notes over here, a raw egg has 47 calories approximately, and a cooked egg has 74. 47 calories to 74 calories. Most of us are not eating raw eggs, but I'm just using eggs as an example. But this changes for other foods as well. Whether something is cooked or not cooked, that changes the amount of calories available to us. Also, the way that you prepare it, like if you chop something up or blend it versus just having it unchopped or unblended, that also changes the amount of calories that we're getting from the food, okay? So that's the third reason. The fourth is bio-individuality. You've heard of the gut microbiome, I'm sure, right? This is a hot topic these days, and for good reason. It's really important to a lot of our health. A lot of our health can stem back to our gut health, our microbiome, the good flora that we've got inside our guts. It's like a fingerprint. We have different proportions of different healthy bacteria and other flora inside our gut at all times. Everybody's got something slightly different. That specific fingerprint of a gut microbiome changes the amount of calories that you take in from food. I mean, think about that for a second. Doesn't that blow your mind? So you could be sitting next to your friend eating the exact same thing. You're both the exact same size, the exact same weight. You have the exact same activity levels, blah, 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 right? And you are not taking in the same amount of calories from that food. It's different. It's different based on your gut microbiome. So that's the fourth thing. And the fifth thing, and this is probably the one that you guys know about a little bit more, but most people don't weigh their food and they're eyeballing their portions. And for certain foods, especially the really energy-dense foods like oils or nut butters or things like that, being off on your portions by just a little bit can add up to a big difference in calories in either direction, but most people are overestimating the portion sizes. So if you're taking, let's say, a tablespoon of peanut butter, and it's supposed to be like a flat tablespoon if you were going to be sticking to what was on the serving size and adding your calories up based on that, but you did like a heaping tablespoon, that could be off by 50, 100 calories just there. And most of us are not having 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. Do you know what I mean? So that's the 5 reasons right there about why just the calories that you take in cannot actually be counted up and relied on properly. So why put so much effort, take your time, take your mental energy and your emotional health and put it into something that is not going to be accurate anyway, okay? Okay, now I told you I was going to answer this question. Do you ever have your clients count their calories? Rarely. Most of the time, most clients, I've never asked them to add up their calories. The only exception that I can think of right now would be for somebody who has absolutely no idea what they're starting with. So if someone's like, Tara, I could be eating 2,000 calories or 10,000. I literally have no idea. I've never even thought about it for a second. That might be somebody that I have, look into that, start to read the labels and stuff for a couple of days, just to basically get an idea and to get like a baseline, but never more than a couple of days. Never. Might I have them log their food just to get an idea of more like how often they're eating and the types of foods and the portion sizes and stuff like that? Yes, I'm more likely to have somebody log their food. I think that could be a helpful tool. So I do like to teach people that tool too, because they can use that later on when we're not working together anymore. But as far as adding up calories, it's rare that I do it, but it would only be for a very limited amount of time if I had somebody do that. I'm not a fan. So if you ever see, my testimonials that I post, or I don't usually do before and after pictures. I don't like to make it all about the aesthetics. But if you see any of the things that I'm posting about client success stories and things like that, that's being done without counting calories, not weighing any food, not weighing, not counting their macros even or anything like that. Okay, there is a way to customize portion sizes, and you have to make sure that the energy intake is sufficient and they're not overeating for their goals. That's obviously important, but there are other ways to do it. There are ways that are just more humane in my mind, because here's the thing: when we start counting calories, we do this whole thing where we don't care about the quality as much anymore, and we just care about the quantity. So it's like if you had a goal of 1,500 calories in a day, and you hit that goal because you had a Snickers that you weren't planning on having, Halloween candy's still around, whatever, and but then you were going to have like a half an avocado as a snack, and you're going to be like, you know what? I can't have that half an avocado anymore because I just had the Snickers, and that basically takes the place of it for the calories. And what's that mentality going to start to do? You're going to start, the quality of what you're eating is going to go down, and then you're not nourishing yourself. And that avocado was going to be really good for your brain health, for your moods. From good moods comes good action. So for your future success in your goals, whether it's fat loss or something else in the health space, but you're going to be screwing with that if you're not having the healthy foods, right? Now, if you're not getting enough of those good fats, then your hormones are going to be off. So when your hormones are off and your blood sugar, what happens? Your cravings start to go up. You're basically setting yourself up for failure in the future. So when you're counting your calories and you really make it just a numbers game and you're not looking into the quality of it, that just has a whole host of problems that's going to just mess you up later on. So it's not just a matter of overall health, because I know some people are like, yeah, I want to focus on my health, but really it's the fat loss that I'm into. Okay, fine. I'll speak to you as well. You're actually screwing up your future fat loss attempts by doing this, by focusing on just the quantity and not the quality, because when you're malnourished, your brain's not working well, your hormones are all over the place, your blood sugar's all over the place, you've got cravings, and now you're in a bad mood, and so you just want to emotionally eat anyway. What do you think that's going to do? What do you think that's going to do for your fat loss in particular? It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So those are the 5 reasons. To sum it up real quick, it's not precise. It can be off by up to 25% in either direction. Your labels, your food that's not labeled, all of it. It can be off by up to 25%. This is including in a restaurant. If you go to a chain restaurant and they have the calorie count, that can be off by up to 25% in either direction. The absorption varies, right? 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. Not exactly. It's 5.65 calories. But about 4 is what's absorbed, and about 1.65 is what passes through. And that changes from food to food. Certain foods we absorb more from than others, right? Nuts versus nut butter. We absorb more calories from the nut butter than the nuts. Preparation. Did you cook your food? Did you chop it up? Did you blend it? That affects your calories. All of those things affect your calories. Bioindividuality, your gut microbiome. Your gut microbiome affects what you're going to be drawing from that food. One of you is going to be drawing more, the other one's going to be drawing less. You don't know, but it's going to affect you. And then the 5th thing is the eyeballing portions, right? A little extra olive oil in the pan over time can add up to a lot more calories than you were planning on, okay? So the eyeballing portions is, that's a biggie. That's a big one. So those are the 5 reasons why calories in are really not an exact science. And if it's not an exact science anyway, then why do it? It's just going to mess with your head. It's just going to have you focus on the wrong thing. Why don't we focus on quality, nourishing foods, eating portion sizes that work within your current lifestyle based on how active you are, based on what your goals are, and make you feel good. These things should be making you feel good. And I don't really know anybody who's counting calories and feeling really good about it. So I hope that helps you to stop doing calorie math. If you have any questions for me, please put them in the comments, because I could really talk about this stuff all day long. I'm a big nerd like that. So thank you for watching the video. Put your questions below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.